On the second day of their marriage, the wife spikes a fever and slips into delirium. Her husband hurriedly carries her to the bathroom, fumbling to unfasten her coat, then pulls her under the shower, forcing her beneath the water. Only when the scorching heat washes over her does Nazli snap back to her senses. Furious, she shouts at him for being so cruel. He can't stand to see her suffer alone, so he joins her under the near-boiling water. And surprisingly, it works. Half an hour later, Nazli's fever really goes down. Wow. I've never heard of this fever cure before. Have you taken notes? Though the two bicker constantly in private, they go all in when it comes to acting affectionate in public. Hiding behind the excuse of a contract marriage, they shamelessly voice the affections they dare not admit are real. Unfortunately, on the third day of their marriage, trouble comes knocking. A squad of police officers shows up at their villa. The chief announces that large quantities of drugs were discovered in 4 of Farret's company trucks, and he's required to cooperate with the investigation. Their honeymoon never even begins. Farret is taken into custody before they get the chance. Everyone rushed to the villa to comfort Nazli after hearing the news. Dennis thinks that someone is framing Farret, even though he doesn't particularly like Farret right now. He's convinced Farret isn't the type to get involved in anything illegal. He tells Nazli not to worry. But he's far more skeptical about Farret and Nazli's marriage. Just a few days ago, they were fighting like cats and dogs. How did they end up married all of a sudden? Her best friend quickly jumps in to cover, saying, well, obviously, they're madly in love. Nazli doesn't deny it. Dennis leaves in despair, leaving the others behind to keep Nazli company. At 3 in the morning, Farret returns home after his acquittal. He gently strokes his wife's hair, whispering how much he missed her. Nazli opens her eyes and, in an instant, all her worry and sleepiness vanish. Overjoyed, she hurries into the kitchen to make him soup, the very dish Farret has been craving. Farret explains that he was falsely accused. Although the police have yet to find the mastermind, he suspects it's a Haken behind it all. Just then, her friend comes downstairs for a glass of water. To keep up the illusion of their marriage, the two are forced to drop the act and share a room. Once inside, Farret casually takes off his shirt without the slightest embarrassment. Nazli, however, isn't quite ready to accept the idea of sleeping in the same bed, and spends a long time mentally preparing herself. They fall asleep with an ocean of space between them. But when morning comes, they wake up as close as conjoined twins. Nazli is both embarrassed and secretly delighted. However, just as she finishes preparing a lavish breakfast, Farret brushes it off with a work emergency and rushes out the door. Nazli, fuming, vents to the empty room. What kind of marriage is this? No goodbye kiss? Not even a see you? Wife, you said you missed me last night. Little does she know, Farret is off to deal with Haken. Turns out, Haken is the one who framed Farret for smuggling drugs, aiming to seize the company with his wife. Thinking Farret was safely behind bars, Hakan prepares to snatch up his clients, only to see Farret himself walk through the door. Meanwhile, Haken picks up a call from one of his men. The Ministry of Finance just conducted an inspection at his firm. Due to violations, 2 of his major construction sites have been ordered to shut down. You guessed it, that was Farret's doing. Though Farret has no proof that Hakan planted the drugs, he's not the type to take a blow lying down. This was payback. Hakan is furious and determined to destroy Farret. He contacts his lawyer and wife, desperate to find a way to retain custody of the boy. Then, they approach Dennis, asking him to testify against Farret, claiming he's just using the child for power and leverage. They plead with him to help rescue the boy from Farret's grip, but Dennis doesn't say yes right away, and says he needs to think about it. In the evening, Farret comes to Dennis's exhibition. Dennis, full of jealousy, asks, why didn't Nazli come? Are you and your wife in such a bad relationship? I'm wondering why you can put aside your hatred and anger so easily and marry Nazli in a flash. Farret calmly replies that Nazli and I share a special bond. It's normal you wouldn't understand. Demet and Nazli feel the same confusion. They deliberately make things difficult for Farret, criticizing him for attending such an important event, newly married, without his wife. Farret is caught in a tough spot when Nazli suddenly appears, dazzling in a black dress. She hadn't planned to come, but changes her mind, honoring their agreement to stand by Farret and play the loving wife. On the way home, they talk about Dennis's suspicions. Nazli says, it's because we don't seem like a real couple. You don't look like you're in love. Sometimes you even look like you want to kill me. Farret shoots back. That's because I haven't forgiven you yet. You should be the one to make the first move. They tease and quarrel all the way home, but once inside, they shower us with those heart-melting couple moments. Nazli suddenly twists her ankle on her high heel as she enters the living room. Without hesitation, Ferit scoops her up in a princess carry, placing her gently on the sofa. Nazli's heart skips a beat. He slips off her shoes and softly massages her foot. They both love each other deeply but won't admit it, only secretly enjoy the feeling. At a dinner gathering, seeing the three of them laughing like a happy family, Dennis feels both envious and heartbroken. He leaves early, revving his motorcycle in a wild ride to let off steam, until he crashes hard into a big truck and blacks out. Nazli's sister happens to arrive at the hospital and finds Dennis with a broken arm. His lonely, downcast demeanor stirs Asuman's sympathy. So despite his protests, she insists on staying to take care of him. To lift his spirits, she even shares her earphones so he can listen to music. However, before his physical injury can heal, his heart is dealt an even bigger blow. Passing by the office, Dennis accidentally overhears Ferit's cousin's phone call and learns that Farret and Nazli's marriage is just a contract to gain custody of Bulut. Knowing the truth, Dennis almost breaks down on the spot. He approaches them with a cold, biting sneer, saying, "Stop pretending to be in love in front of me. I already know your relationship and marriage are nothing but a sham." Farret and Nazli are stunned on the spot, clueless about who leaked their secret. If more people find out, their chances of winning custody will be lost. Farret immediately suspects Nazli's sister and harshly reprimands her. After all, she has a troubled past and little credibility. Asuman insists she has changed for the better and would never betray them again. But even her own sister doesn't believe her. Frustrated and hurt, Asuman runs away from her sister. With nowhere else to turn, her classmates either say they're too busy or unwilling to let her stay. Out of options, she begs Dennis to take her in for a while. Considering she's the sister of the woman he loves, Dennis agrees to offer her a place to stay. A day later, the court reconvened to hear Bulut's custody case. Lawyers from both sides were at loggerheads. Overall, both married households can provide a suitable environment for Bulut's upbringing. The judge turns to Bulut and asks for his preference. The little boy admits that although Aunt Demet buys me many toys, she sometimes gets angry with me, just like Haken does. But Uncle Farret and Nazli never do. I also love the meals Nazli's cooking. I'm happier when I'm in Uncle Farret's house. Demet's smile vanishes instantly. It seems the scales of the trial are tipping in Farret's favor. However, just as the judge is about to announce the verdict, Dennis bursts through the door, insisting he has something to say. Caught between loyalty to his sister and brother-in-law, and his longtime bro and the woman he loves, Dennis feels torn. Though Farret and Nazli's marriage is a sham, he knows their love for Bulut is genuine. Besides, Bulut's own wish is clear. He wants to stay with them. For the sake of his nephew, Dennis chooses to keep the fake marriage a secret, declaring his belief that Farret and Nazli will make better parents and that Bulut should stay with Nazli. Finally, after so many days and so much effort, Farret regains custody of his nephew and 48% of the company's shares. Bulut rides joyfully on Farret's shoulders as they return to the villa. The little boy expresses his gratitude and love to both of them. He understands that without their marriage, he wouldn't be able to stay here. Nazli promises him that she'll always be there for him as well. Every night, the two adults sit with Bulut to watch TV, tell him stories, and gently lull him to sleep. To keep Bulut from suspecting their marriage is fake, the two stop sleeping in separate rooms and start sharing the same bed. Farret tells Nazli, "We have to keep this marriage going. You see how happy Bulut is." Nazli also agrees with Farret's suggestion. So whenever they're around Bulut, Farret becomes especially affectionate toward Nazli, and Nazli can't really avoid it. The little boy gets showered with love every day and is incredibly happy. However, having spent so much time at Hakan's house, Bulut has been influenced somewhat by Hakan's mindset. Hakan also lost his parents at a young age and deeply empathizes with Bulut, who shares the same fate. Having endured a harsh childhood himself, he has grown fiercely ambitious. While spending time with Bulut, he begins to pass on to Bulut the kind of hardened mindset that once kept him alive. That day, Bulut picks a fight at school, forcing the teacher to call in his guardians, Farret and Nazli. The teacher informs them that ever since his parents passed away, Bulut has become increasingly aggressive and urges them to keep a closer eye on him. On the way home, Nazli asks Bulut why he got into a fight with another kid. With unwavering conviction, Bulut replies, "Uncle Hakan told me if someone bullies you, you hit them back. Some people are brave like lions. Some are scared like chickens. I want to be a lion." Nazli is startled and tells him that fists can't solve problems. But the little guy won't listen, insisting it's the other kid's fault for throwing the first punch. Farret and Nazli exchange a worried glance. They're both relieved that Bulut is no longer under Hakan's roof. Had they been any later, it might have been too late to undo the damage. From that day on, Nazli stops playing the overly indulgent mom. For Bulut's sake, she begins coaxing and tricking him into eating things he doesn't like kiwis. And when he refuses, no problem. Her husband finishes it for her. Together, they lead by example, gently reshaping Bulut's mindset, undoing the negative beliefs Hakan had planted. So Bulut is getting better and better. Meanwhile, Yaman is trying her best to pull Dennis out of his slump and help him heal from the heartbreak of losing the woman he loves. When Dennis accidentally scrapes his hand on the side mirror of a thug's car, Yaman stops him from going after them with violence. Instead, once the thugs drive off, she hands him a baseball bat and urges him to take it out on their car. For Dennis, who's lived a well-mannered, rule-following life, this moment feels liberating. It's eye-opening, a complete release. Under Yaman's chaotic but healing influence, Dennis gradually emerges from the gloom and even agrees to try things he never would have before, like yoga. That day, the secretary informs Denise and Farret that they found new clues about the culprit who cut the brakes on Bulut's parents' car. Turns out the culprit has a cousin. He was the one who helped him get the job as Haken's driver. If they can track down the cousin, they might be able to uncover more. Without delay, Dennis and Farret rush to a local game room, where they find the cousin playing cards. When Farret questions him, the man grows visibly nervous, clearly hiding something. He suddenly snaps at a player across the table. "What the hell are you pulling? Cheating now." His friend catches on instantly and fires back without missing a beat. In the chaos, the cousin bolts from the room, and Farret and Dennis race after him. Unbeknownst to them, Demet is watching everything unfold from inside her car. Just an hour earlier, she overheard her husband talking to one of his men and picked up on the same lead. Not knowing who's really behind the accident, she decides to investigate on her own. But she didn't expect Farret and Dennis to get there first. Eventually, Dennis and Farret manage to corner the man. But instead of confessing the truth, he spins a story. "I thought you were cops. That's why I ran." "Yeah, I helped him get the job with Haken, but I didn't know what he was planning. He's dead now, and I don't want to get dragged into this mess. The police have already questioned me several times." Farret and Dennis remain skeptical, but with nothing more to go on, they leave empty-handed. Demet then approaches the culprit's cousin, revealing herself as Hakan's wife and asking what he just told those two men. Assuming she's an ally, the man tells her everything. "I didn't rat out your husband. Now and forever, I won't tell anyone that Haken ordered my cousin to deliberately cause that car accident. Since the culprit has died and there's no proof left, your husband can rest easy." Demet is stunned the moment she hears the truth. She never expected that her brother and sister-in-law's deaths were not accidents, but orchestrated by her own husband. She stumbles home, devastated, and slaps the wine glass out of Hakan's hand. Furious, she screams at him for being a murderer. At first, Hakan tries to deny everything, claiming he's innocent. But Demet grows angrier and shouts that Farret is already investigating the matter, and she will reveal the whole truth to him. Panicked, Haken breaks down and yells, "Yes, I killed your brother and his wife. They never cared about you. They ignored you, pushed you aside. I did this for you. I'm the only one who ever truly loved you." Demet feels a surge of sorrow and disgust. Unable to bear living with the man who murdered her family, she retreats to her room to pack her things, planning to leave. But Haken threatens her, saying, "We're stuck together on the same ship. Remember who locked Nazli in the freezer and almost killed her? It was me who cleaned up that mess for you. That's why Farret can't prove you're trying to kill his wife. If you don't listen to me, then we might as well go to prison together. And just wait to see what those thugs will do to a delicate woman like you." Demet breaks down crying, collapsing on the floor, screaming, "I should have listened to my father. I never should have married you, you filthy beast. From then on, Hakan imprisons her in the villa and guards to watch her around the clock. Still, he doesn't trust her completely, fearing she might tell her brother when he's away. To fully control Demet, he must hold her by the throat. This sick man deliberately takes his wife out into the wilderness, pulls out a gun, and says he's going to teach her to shoot for self-defense. Demet doesn't understand what this is all about, and refuses to do it. But under Haken's relentless pressure and threats, she reluctantly complies. Following his instructions, she fires 10 shots at a distant target. Hakan goes wild with joy, yelling that she shoots perfectly. Demet gets frightened and runs away. She could never have imagined that behind the target's door was a person tied up, and that person is the spy Farret planted inside Haken's camp. It turns out Haken had long suspected the mechanic was working for Farret, but held back to use him at a critical moment against Farret. This time, he cunningly uses his own wife to eliminate that threat. Could he be anything but pleased? On the other side, Demet remains unaware that she has become a murderer. In the middle of the night, taking advantage of the guards' negligence, she sneaks out of the villa. Helpless, Demet tries calling her brother but gets no answer. She rings the doorbell at his place several times, but there's still no response. It turns out that Dennis is currently at Ferit's villa, accompanying a suman in search of Nazli. Dennis is still arguing with Farret over the fake marriage. Farret defends firmly, "This is a decision Nazli and I made together, not some dictatorship of mine. Don't even think about destroying it." The quarrel escalates until Nazli and her sister arrive, finally putting an end to it. Suddenly, the sharp sound of glass tapping comes from behind them. It's Demet. They notice her unusually distraught expression and ask what's wrong. Demet tries to reveal the whole truth but is too terrified to speak. Dennis comforts his sister and urges her to sit down and take her time. Unfortunately, Hakan has already discovered her escape and is on his way to pursue her. When Demet sees Hakan calling, she's too scared to answer. Hakan has no choice but to call Dennis and say, "Your sister and I had a fight. This is a family matter, we need to handle ourselves. Let me talk to your sister." Dennis is confused about what's going on, but without overthinking, he hands the phone to Demet. Hakan orders Demet to walk to the kitchen alone and warns her to shut up or he'll send her to jail. It turns out that while Demet was shooting, Haken had a photographer hiding behind a tree, capturing every moment. Looking at the bloody photos, Demet finally realizes she's fallen into Hakan's trap. She has been framed as a murderer. Hakan threatens her not to speak a word, saying he'll be there soon and that he wouldn't mind dying alongside her. Demet breaks down in tears, losing all courage to reveal the truth. She forces herself to lie and tells them, "I'm fine. I just had an argument with Haken about the miscarriage." Soon after, Haken arrives at the villa. He dramatically kneels with a rose in hand, sincerely apologizing and confessing his love, begging for forgiveness. Demet reluctantly pretends to accept his apology and obediently goes back with him. Everyone else finds it strange, but since Demet insists she's okay, they don't press further. 1 week away is Ferit's birthday, and Nazli racks her brain trying to plan a surprise for him. By chance, her best friend stumbles upon an old birthday photo of Farret from 7 years ago, featuring some friends he hasn't been in touch with for a long time. Inspired, Nazli decides to invite all of these friends over to celebrate Farret's birthday. She thinks that if Farret can relive some of his younger days, he'll be truly delighted. So Nazli contacts each of them one by one to invite them to Farret's birthday party, completely unaware that one of the women is actually Farret's ex-girlfriend. This is Maroon Recap. Check out my homepage and you'll see more recaps of Full Moon. I'm hastening to write and edit the next recap, so feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.